In my last video, I cracked the Beast of the Sea using the Beast of the Earth, and luckily for me, this meant that I had a partial portrait of the Beast of the Earth, so it made sense to go ahead and finish him off. In order to support the allegory of the first beast, the second beast has to fall in line with the events on the ground during the siege and destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf, and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. It exercised all the authority of the first beast is a very interesting reference. This indicates that the beast itself does not have its own authority. In other words, during 70 CE, the siege and destruction of Jerusalem, this is not a king. Whoever this beast is doing this for Rome in the name of a king, but he himself is not a king, and the authority he is exercising is that of the Roman emperors. The person in charge of the siege and demolition of Jerusalem was Titus. He was not an emperor, but he would eventually become an emperor. Titus is the emperor after Vespasian. At the time, he didn't have his own authority, but in regards to the siege and destruction of Jerusalem, he certainly exercised all authority given to him by Rome. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. This sounds a lot like a siege. The siege of Jerusalem lasted approximately 6 months, and there's every reason to believe that siege engines were involved. It probably would have been interesting to watch from afar, but fire did indeed rain down from heaven. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. According to the Revelation author, Titus is going to make them worship Nero. There's no real surprise here. Nero was probably deified or recognized as a god while he was still alive. Most Roman emperors were. Emperor worship in Rome was quite common, and once again, no one believed Nero to be really dead. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. Through Titus, Nero comes back to life. Nero is only speaking because Titus is making him speak. Titus brings Nero back to life. Again, this beast is lending all kinds of credence to my understanding of the first beast. Titus appears to be the only person that the beast out of the earth could refer to. At the time, he was not a king, but he did lead the siege of Jerusalem and had it destroyed on behalf of the Roman Empire. And as the final verses of this chapter allude to, the first Jewish-Roman war ended the economic dispute that had led to the revolt in the first place. Rome would dominate, and Judea would be forced to be a part of the Roman economic system. Judea would, by force, accept the mark of the beast. One other cool thing in this allegory is that the author is not blaming Vespasian at all. He's blaming Titus for resurrecting Nero. It's Titus that channels Nero. Titus is forcing Nero to come back from the grave. Nero stands alone as the risen 8th king thanks solely to Titus. And with the destruction of Jerusalem, I believe we have a full picture of the beast of the earth. Titus is the beast of the earth, exercising the authority of undead Nero. I have to like the fact that the two beasts fell completely in line with history, and I have to love a good zombie story, and this one is pretty good.